Authentication Part 2. I am Marquita Hudgens, and this is The Voice Behind the Voice, episode 19, and we're going to pick up where we left off from yesterday, talking about authentication. Authentication is basically a word that means being yourself. And like yesterday, I said that if your reasoning for doing things, if your reasoning is because they wanted to, they needed me to, they said I should, they this, they that, them over there, those people, blah, blah, blah. A lot of times, people are actually very jealous of you. Um, it's unfortunate, especially if I'm sorry. I know that I'm making noise and I'm doing weird stuff. My little light is dying here, and I just need my light. I didn't notice it was dying till right now. So and I'm clicking it, and I'm just, you know what? We're gonna talk about the beauty of starting with little to no audience. Because you could do these kinds of things, and yes, people are going to see it later, but a lot of those people are going to be people who are struggling to start themselves. That's why they're spending so much time watching other people's videos, right? No offense, I watched a lot of videos before I started. So anyways, back to authentication. So we're talking about knowing yourself. That was step one from yesterday. um, Step one, knowing yourself. Step two, accepting you for who you are. And then three was thinking things through, being able to remember what happened last time, and not remembering what happened last time so that you don't move forward. Like I said, you can't just sit around thinking about it, but remember what happened last time so that you know what to say this time, what to do, how to do it, how to say it, what not to do, what not to say. And um and that actually, saying what I just said actually throws me into like part 5, so we're gonna go ahead and do 4 real quick. So four is being open to new possibilities, new experiences, new opportunities. Being open, because those experiences, those opportunities, those things are what are going to help you learn and get to know yourself more. You don't learn yourself by sitting around doing nothing. And like I said, maintaining other people's opinions. Maintaining other people's opinions is not going to do anything for you but make you regret not going out and experiencing your life. So that was number 4. Number 5 is no judgment. I say no judgment. Okay, so here's the thing. Like I've said, I think once before in this podcast, and I'm pretty sure. Oh, no. I said it on my on one of my videos, my day like 99 one of my 100-day challenge video. I just mentioned briefly that, like I'm gonna do now, that a lot of words have been screwed up by society. And judgment or judge is one of those words. Like, how can one of like the top careers in life be such a horrible thing, right? So basically, when you're judging, it's like I'm okay. So the bad judging, the judging that everybody thinks, everybody thinks that every Christian is judgmental. Every Christian they meet is gonna judge them. Listen to me. The Bible does say to judge. Okay, the Bible says not to judge unrighteously. So judging someone unrighteously is basically forgetting that we are all filthy rags. basically forgetting that you're not perfect and looking at everyone else and and uh, trying and attempting to write the end of their story, right? So you see somebody, you see a drunk bum on the street, judgment, unrighteous judgment will say, and this is why it's unrighteous, because like I said, God makes no mistakes. God can change every heart. God can change every person. God has a purpose and a plan for each and every person's life, especially yours, and especially that drunk bum, right? So you see the drunk bum and you say, oh, they're always going to be a drunk bum. And every time I see that drunk bum, I'm going to think they're a drunk bum. Even when they're a millionaire, billionaire in a mansion, and we just so happen to bump into each other at Starbucks, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I thought you was a drunk bum, right? I thought you was gonna be a drunk bum forever. So, it's basically like just writing people off. That's what I mean when I say no judgment. Like if you have a no judgment rule, um, basically you're giving everyone else that grace and mercy that you want for yourself. So when you fall down, and you get back up, like I said, either everybody might be watching or nobody. Maybe nobody's watching. But you want to be able to get back up and be trusted again. You want to be able to get back up and walk with your head held high like as if it never happened. And you need to extend that grace and mercy to other people. You want to be able to look at somebody who's failing or falling down and say, hey, look, I fell down a trillion times, but look, I'm back up and I'm doing what I gotta do, and I'm doing it with my head held high, and I'm doing it knowing that I have a plan and knowing that I don't want to make those same mistakes again. Excuse me. So when I say a no judgment, that means you're going to meet people in your path. If you keep moving forward, the more experience you get and the more you learn, you're going to start to meet people that you can teach and you can mentor, and you have to be able to see those people for everything that they are and still say you can do this, right? And so you have to have it even in your humble beginnings. You have to have a no judgment rule, because what's going to happen is the way that you judge other people and the way, or I'm going to say, let me turn that around, sorry. The way that you think other people are judging you is the way that you judge other people. So if you are not able to do something because you think that this person's watching you, they're going to say this, it's most likely because if they were doing what you're doing, you would be watching them saying those things. So turn it around and have a no judgment rule for yourself and for other people, so that if all you think about other people is highly, like if you think highly of other people, you're going to assume that other people are thinking highly of you. You don't have a choice, because what's in your brain, what's in your heart is going to come out. And you're going to live the way that you think. The way that you think is eventually going to be how you speak and how you live. So you have to think highly of yourself and think highly of other people. And don't worry, like that's the one thing for me. And don't get me wrong, I know that it comes from experience too. I'm going to give you an example. I've had experience with people, you know, telling me that I think I'm all that and I'm really not, and I think I'm better than everybody else and blah blah blah. So for a long time I would dumb myself down and I would hide my own excellence because I thought that it made other people more comfortable. And I missed out on a lot of opportunities, because I wasn't allowing my gifts to make room like the Bible says that they will. Um, so um, eventually I had to just start praising myself and applauding myself. And at this point it really doesn't matter how many people think that I'm obnoxious or cocky or whatever it is. I know that I'm destined for greatness. I know that I'm highly called of God because God told me that I am. And I'm not going to let anybody project their own insecurities and failures and disappointments onto me and my life, into my aspirations. So that's why I say a no judgment, because when you live a life where you're thinking highly of other people, what you're projecting onto them is positivity. Um, so one, two, three, four, five. Number six. Express yourself freely. If you want to smile, if you see something and it makes you smile, smile. If something happens and it's funny to you, laugh. If something pisses you off, allow yourself time to be pissed off. Okay? If something makes you sad, cry. If something makes you so happy that you have to cry, cry those happy tears. If you laugh so hard that you gotta cry, cry. Okay? I believe that it's very good for us to wear our emotions on our sleeves. It's hard for people to wear their emotions on their sleeves because they think that they're going to be judged and they think that people are going to see them as weak. But you know what? It's a part of knowing yourself, knowing what makes you laugh, knowing what makes you cry, and then accepting that those things make you laugh and those things make you cry and that makes you mad. And also, another way of expressing, not just like um, with emotion, but open your mouth and communicate. If you expect, did we talk about expectation? We talked about expectation. Um, we talked about expectation, and basically, um, with the expectation, like I said, you have to be able to communicate. So expressing yourself is also, communicating your expectations. That is a form of expressing yourself. We also talked about the displaced emotions. That's what will cause you to project. You project those displaced emotions because you can't handle them yourself. So every time somebody opens their mouth and got something good going on, you got to throw water, put their fire out, pop their bubble, and all that stuff. And nobody likes that person, so stop. Um, but um, also with anger, we talked about how anger is really just a symptom of underlying issues. And it's easier to overcome the anger. One thing about anger management is finding different ways to express yourself. And you really, really need to get in the habit of communicating your expectations. And sometimes you have to remind people what your expectations are. Don't be afraid of being that person who reminds people what their expectations and standards and boundaries are. I learned the hard way not setting boundaries and not speaking my expectations, and in a lot of different situations I went through a lot of stuff that I didn't have to, because in the beginning I should have said I don't want to go through this, and I'm not, and I don't have to. I could have said that, but I didn't, because I was maintaining other people's opinions and what their opinion might be, not even knowing what their opinion is. So express yourself, open your mouth, and communicate your expectations. And like I said, if you gotta cry, cry. If you gotta laugh, laugh. And it doesn't matter who's watching you, it doesn't matter. You feel the beat, dance. I'm one of those people, like, look, it don't matter where I'm at. If it's my song, I'm dancing and I'm singing. And I got a lot of songs, okay? I'm dancing and I'm singing. I could be in a room full of people I do not like. Let me tell you. I mean, I can say in a room not full. No, I've never been in a room full of people that I don't like. I was I guess the dislike was so strong that it made me say that. But I've been in a room where, like, I didn't like 10% of the population in the room, and it's easy for someone to say, "Oh, well, they must all get along because she's so happy here." No, I'm happy here because I'm happy. I just happen to be here. And when you know that about yourself, you know when you're happy, you know when you're sad, and you accept that, right? And you express that. You're always expressing who you are. You are your authentic self. And one thing about being authentic to me, that really means a lot to me, is that no one can take your authenticity. You know, people can steal your identity all day long. It bothers me when black people get mad about like the one drop rule, um, and white people saying that, oh, my grandma is black. Like, I don't care. I'm black, right? This is the only black I'm concerned about. This black and my black kids. And if one of my black kids goes on and marries a white person and has children by that white person, and or adopts an Asian child or whatever, that's my black grandbaby because I'm black. I'm black. They can say they black all they want to because their grandmama black. And I dare you to come from my grandchild and tell my grandchild they ain't black. If they was raised black, they're black. They're blackly black, black, black. Okay, not that I would want them to erase the heritage of their bloodline and whatnot. But you know what I mean? Like, I was saying, people can steal your identity. That was a comment that somebody left on Twitter one time to something that I said about the one drop rule. And like, it's taking my identity. They're not taking your identity. Having your identity stolen is like somebody gets a hold of your social security number and they take your identity. Nobody can walk up to you and be like, you ain't black. Like, you will never be able to tell me that I'm not black, okay? And no matter how many people say that they're black, that don't look black, it ain't my business. It ain't my business, okay? If I came up in here and was like, I'm Asian American, it's not it's not really your business how I feel about myself. It's not your business. You shouldn't be upset. You shouldn't be upset about my identity. I don't care about your identity. I'm sorry. Forgive me. But I'm sorry that I don't know, it just came back. That was so long ago, but it just came back. Like, but because when identity is a trigger, who knew? Who knew identity was a trigger for me? The word identity. But what am I trying to say? So I was saying, nobody. It's not the same as somebody stealing your identity. Like, if you accept who you are, um, if you accept who you are and you're able to express how you feel when you feel it, you're being your authentic self. And that's a really big deal for me, especially in doing what I'm doing and this whole like building an audience thing. I personally have not done enough work to put my message out into the world for people to consume it. And that's where I'm at right now, and that's what my current goal is, to reach out and drop some Kita over here and drop some Kita over there and drop some Kita and just hope somebody grabs it, because I'm not spending $5 a day on Facebook ads because I don't have $5 today. Like, so I'm not gonna do it. So basically, the I'm sorry, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 7 is learn from your mistakes and learn from your failures. So for those of you who ask, like, what if I mess up? Like, you can't mess up being your authentic self. If you make a mistake, you do something wrong on your path, and basically that just means you did something that put you back a few steps, or maybe you did something that offended someone else, or whatever. You did something bad. Um, did you do it on accident? Was it on purpose? Like, you know what I mean? Just own up to it. Own up to it. Um, if you can, make your wrongs right and learn from it. Like I was saying yesterday about thinking, about taking notes. I genuinely feel that throughout our lives we take mental notes. I remember when I was when I was a younger child, when I was a kid, I had these two aunts. God bless them. They're still alive. I love them. Um, they were my grandma's first cousins, and they would come out. They were from San Diego. We were in Riverside, California. They were from San Diego, and they would come down for like church stuff, and they would come by to visit their cousin, my grandma, and and they were cheek pinchers, cheek pinchers. And I kid you not, I hid from these women, and this is, and I say this. I'm probably gonna say this more often because I'm saying it now, but um, the devil uses people close to you in your life, people that frequent, uses them to try to um, mess up God's plan for your life, but don't let him. So I would hide. I would hide from them. Like I remember hearing like, well, where's Marquita? And I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm gone. You're not pinching my cheeks, right? So I distinctly remember like always running from them, and then was I 18? I was older. I was somewhere between 16 and 19. And I said this before. I cannot remember how old I was when this happened. Somewhere between 16 and 19. My cousin Arlene, Aunt Arlene, it was Arlene and Joyce. And I remember my Aunt Arlene, she looked at me square in my eyes. This is what, they're not pinching cheeks anymore. And I haven't, obviously, I don't think I'd seen them for years. Um, but, they're not pinching cheeks anymore at this point. But she looked at me and she said, "You are going to be a valuable asset to this family." And I got it tatted on my chest. You know what I mean? I believe it. And I could, and it's a note that I took, right? I feel like even if I never got the value tattoo on my chest, I still would have remembered. I know now that I would have remembered. Maybe. I don't know because I don't not have it, so I can't tell you what. But it's a note. I took note, and it's something that now I look at it every day, and I can remember. I don't always stop and remember the whole scene, but I see it, and it's subliminally. I know that whatever I do, I have to add value to my family. I have to build and fortify my legacy, because even if I'm not the actual one that's adding value, it's going to be my children, right? So, um, every mistake that I make, I have to learn from it quickly and move on. I don't have time to sit down and think, oh, I made a mistake, I got to give up. No, I just have to move on. I just have to do it. And there's a lot of things that I'm doing right now and I'm trembling. Like, I'm like, dang, people actually want to buy my stuff. That means I got to actually like make more stuff. Like, so I'm just at that point now where it's like, dang, okay, I gotta hold myself accountable. But yeah, so that was learn your mistakes. And number 8 is laugh. I know I said, when expressing yourself, if you have to laugh, laugh, but I mean laugh. Like, you need to surround yourself with people and things that make you laugh, that remind you that it's okay to take yourself seriously, but to an extent. You have to make time to laugh. Laughter is medicine to the soul. You have to find something funny about life, or you're just going to be a messed up person. You have to laugh, okay? You have to learn how to laugh at those mistakes. You have to look back and laugh at those mistakes, no matter how much it costs you. You have to laugh at it. People say one day I'm gonna look back on this and laugh, and it's hard to think. Like, there's still things where I'm like, okay, I'm not ready to laugh at that yet. But like, you have to be able to laugh, because if you can't laugh when you fall on your butt, it's gonna really hurt your feelings that everybody else is laughing because you fell on your butt. And so that's it for authentication. I hope that this added value to your life, to your ears. And if it did, please go ahead and click support. If you're watching this from YouTube, subscribe and share it with someone that you love and someone that you feel needs this. Not saying that they're fake or anything like that, but just someone who might need it. All right. But yeah, I hope that you guys just have morning, noon, night. Have a wonderful morning. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful sleep. Get some rest, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.